Okay, we're going to look at a different aspect of trigonometry now, where we're going back to looking at solving for triangles. So far we've learned to solve for only right triangles, and we've been using SOHCAHTOA, but not all triangles are going to be right triangles. So we have to look at some other methods, and that's where sine law and cosine law, those are the two laws, are going to come into play. So when I talk about solving triangles, remember to solve a triangle means to solve all of the sides and all of the angles. So it's everything that's missing in a triangle. So, however, not all triangles are right triangles, as I had mentioned. Therefore, we must either use sine law or cosine law to solve non-right triangles. So if a right triangle still comes up in a question, you still stick to your SOHCAHTOA. If it's a non-right triangle, we call it an oblique triangle. We're going to focus just on sine law today. For sine law, we're going to use it in these two situations. If we know one side and two angles, or if we know two sides and one angle that is opposite one of the given sides, or a known side. So when we look at the formula, we will be able to have a better idea of kind of how to pick whether you're using sine law or not. So other things that will come up in this is that the sum of all the angles in a triangle adds up to 180 degrees. So therefore, if you know the measure of two angles, you can find the third. So sometimes that might be your first step, and then we'll kind of reconsider this as well. So if we know the two angles, we actually always know three angles. The other thing that's important is we need to remember how to label a triangle properly. So I've labeled this triangle ABC. I just chose 3 letters. It doesn't necessarily matter. What does matter is that I use capital letters for the angles and I use lowercase letters for the sides. So the opposites side and angle line up. So if this is angle A, opposite is side A. This is angle B, opposite is side B. This is angle C, opposite is side C. So what does sine law look like? It's all about ratio. So you would have A over sine A. So the side over the sine of the angle equals B over sine B, C over sine C. So this is how we write out the formula. It can actually, in case you ever were looking this formula up somewhere else, it can actually be flipped completely upside down and have the angle over the sides all the way through. But this is how you're going to see us use it in class. Now, C over sine C, B over sine B, A over sine A. You're only going to use two ratios at a time. So you'll be, for example, I'll cover this up. You'll use just this part right here, or you'll use B and C, or maybe I'll use A and C. So you'll always compare two ratios. So as long as you have the side and the opposite angle and one other piece of information, you'll be able to do this. Now you're going to need your calculators, so you may want to grab your calculators before we go through the next example. These are calculator questions. Your calculator will need to be in degree mode. Just a quick review, every calculator is different, of course, but my calculator, I have a mode button. So in this case, I have to hit it a couple times until I get to where I can choose degree, make sure it's a 1, and I have a little D up here. You can always research your calculator, so if I wasn't sure how to find that, I could type into a Google Casio and maybe even the type of calculator I have here. They'll give you the numbers and ask how to put it in degree mode, and you'll be able to find it there. If you're in class, I can certainly help you, but if you're stuck trying to figure this out on your own, you can always look it up.